Sri Ramayana Stories Sundarakanda Story Hanuman meets Ravana in the Lanka. Anjaneya, after conversing with Sita in the Ashokavana, leaves that place, giving assurance that her husband Sri Rama will reach with his brother Lakshmana and his Vanara friend King Sugriva to rescue her. After that, he walks to the north side of Ashokavana, thinking still some work is left for him in that place. He thinks for a while to pick a right technique that he can apply on the Lanka people to show his presence and also to meet their king in person so that he can convey his message to Demon King Ravana. In the available 4 problem solving techniques, Sama, Dana, Beda and Danda, he decides not to use the first 3 approaches, Sama, Dana and Beda, as the people of Lanka with the demand nature never pay attention to good words. Since they are rich enough, no one can bribe them with money or gifts. Since they are strong and practice magic, no one can trick or influence them. Finally, he decides to use the last technique Danda, thinking they will fear and pay attention only if they see someone who is more strong and powerful than them. Before getting into action, he motivates himself that a right messenger should also complete the associated task in addition to completing the given one. He feels that his given task gets completed only if he knows all the details about the Lanka kingdom and the strengths of King Ravana and his army. Upon thinking for a while, he decides to destroy the Ashokvana to get attention as it is a beautiful garden and also close to Ravana's palace. In no matter of time, with his giant body, he destroys all big trees, gardens, fountains, and the buildings in the Ashokvana except the place where Sita sits. The Demon women who are sleeping in the same place wake up suddenly, hearing the huge demolition sounds in their surroundings. Upon seeing a giant Vanara, they inquire Sita whether she knows his details, suspecting he might have come for her. But Sita cleverly replies them in a sarcastic way, stating she does not know him. She further adds that he seems to be a demon and only demons know their fellow demons and their acts. Later, the demon women rush to Ravana courtyard to convey the same information to their king. In the courtyard, O king, a giant monkey has come to Ashokavana. It spoke with Sita. When inquired about him, she did not disclose any details. It looks like a messenger from Lord Indra, or King Kubera, or King Srirama. It has destroyed the entire Ashokavana except Sita's place. It is a clear indication that he spared Sita's place only to protect her. You should give the right punishment to that Vanara. Upon hearing that information, Ravana's face turns to red color with anger and frustration. Tears start to fall from his both eyes automatically. He immediately sends Kinkara soldiers who are having the same strengths like him to fight against Anjaneya. Seeing Kinkara soldiers with iron spear weapons and protecting shields, Anjaneya calls out victory slogans with a loud voice. Greetings to powerful Sri Rama, Lakshmana and King Sugriva. Being a messenger of great Sri Rama named Hanuman, I will defeat my enemies. Even 1,000 Ravanas are not going to be an equal match for me. I will go out from this place safely after destroying it and giving my greetings to Mother Sita. Upon finishing his victory slogans, he kills all the Kinkaras in a matter of seconds using an iron rod from the main arch of Ashokavana. Hearing the demise of Kinkaras, the shocked Ravana sends Jambumali, who is son of his minister Prahasta, to fight against Hanuman. He has confidence in Jambumali because he has never lost any battle in the past. In the Ashokavana, Anjaneya continues to destroy the leftover places, buildings, arches, in between calling out victory slogans with a loud voice. Jambumali, after reaching Ashokavana on his donkey's chariot, starts to apply multiple arrows on Anjaneya. But his arrows do not show any impact on Anjaneya. In no time, Anjaneya kills him by throwing a big size weapon on the chariot. Knowing the death of Jambumali, Ravana sends his minister's sons to fight against Anjaneya. But Anjaneya kills all of them without any difficulty and waits at the main arch. The confident Ravana starts to worry because until that time he did not lose any of his men in the battles. He used to win all the battles with ease. Since he is losing his men for the first time, the cautious Ravana orders the army chiefs to fight with the Vanara carefully, stating he does not think of him as an ordinary monkey. He suspects that he might be created by Indra and other gods with their powers and penance. He also expresses that he knows the strengths of the Vanara warriors Vali, Sugriva, and Jambavanta, but they are not as strong as this Vanara. Upon their king's order, the army chiefs reach Ashokavana to fight against Anjaneya, but they are not able to stand in front of his strength. Like others, he kills them in a matter of seconds. Hearing the death news of the army chiefs, King Ravana turns to his younger son Ashukumara. Knowing the intentions of his father, Ashukumara starts on his gold chariot that runs on 8 horses to fight against Anjaneya. With his archery skills, he sends a number of arrows on him. Upon being hurt by the Ashukumara's arrows, Anjaneya praises his skills. At first, he decides not to hurt him as he possesses a childish look, but changes his mind, thinking if he spares his life, then he is going to hurt him more badly. Thinking like this for a while, he jumps on the chariot of Ashukumara. Seeing Hanuman's sudden act, Ashukumara jumps into the sky from his chariot in the process of protecting himself from the damage. Seeing this, Anjaneya catches Ashukumara's feet and kills him by hitting on the ground after spinning him for a while in the air. Hearing the loss of his beloved younger son Ashukumara, Ravana turns towards his elder son Indrajit, who has defeated Lord Indra in the battle and also got Brahmastra from the Lord Brahma with his penance. Ravana boosts Indrajit's confidence, stating, unlike others who died before, he is more powerful and clever. He asks him to fight cleverly against the Vanara. He insists that he is sending him just to practice the right laws of king, as kings should not be allowed to battle until his army and his men are there to fight, as it is going to be a great battle between the two great warriors. Yashas, gods, and others are eagerly waiting in the sky to watch the same. Upon reaching Ashokavana, Indrajit applies multiple arrows on Anjaneya with his archery skills, but none of his arrows show any effect and Anjaneya able to stay away from all the arrows with his skills. Like this, the battle continued for some time. They both are not able to assess their opponent's strengths. Since his ordinary arrows are not working, Indrajit thinks for a while and applies the most powerful weapon Brahmastra on Anjaneya, which can be used once in a day. With the effect of Brahmastra, Anjaneya falls on the land unconsciously for a second. He immediately gains consciousness and recollects his gift from the Lord Brahma that the most powerful weapon Brahmastra also won't hurt him. Even though Anjaneya can continue his fight, he stays calm, acting as he is being seized by the Brahmastra. He further thinks this is the only way he can meet the king Ravana in person. By seeing unconscious Anjaneya, the surrounded demons chain him using clothes and ropes without knowing the consequences of Brahmastra, as it won't work if other weapons are used along with it. Both Anjaneya and Indrajit know how Brahmastra works. Anjaneya stays quiet because he wants to meet Ravana. Indrajit stays quiet, thinking Anjaneya does not know this. The demons take Anjaneya to King Ravana's courtyard. The people from the courtyard start to gossip about Anjaneya. After seeing King Ravana in the throne, Anjaneya gets surprised by his body structure and the glowing brightness. He imagines that if Ravana does not possess the bad qualities, he could have ruled all the three worlds, and even the Lord Indra should have worked as his subordinate. He further thinks that Ravana is strong enough so that he can drown the entire world in the water if he wishes to do so. At the same time, seeing the natural brightness of Anjaneya, Ravana starts to think, who is this Vanara? Is he Nandi from Kailasa, who has cursed me when I tried to lift the Kailash mountain? If not, is he Banasura, who contains 1,000 hands? After thinking like this for a while, he turns to his minister Prahasta and asks him to enquire his details, as it is not a right practice for a king to converse directly with a messenger. Upon the orders from his king, Prahasta turns to Anjaneya, O Vanara, don't be afraid and disclose all your details to us. Did you come to this place as a messenger of Lord Indra? Have you been sent by Lord Yama or Lord Varuna or King Kubera? Have you been sent by Lord Vishnu? Why have you come to this place? If you tell us the truth, we will spare your life, else you will be killed. Anjaneya, in reply to Prahasta's questions, I don't have any relationship with Indra, Yama, Varuna or Kubera. I am not sent by Lord Vishnu. I am a Vanara. I destroyed the garden just to meet your king in person. I fought against the demons just to protect myself from their weapons. I cannot be defeated by gods or demons as I am gifted with the boons. I cannot be hurt by any weapons, including Brahmastra, and it was a gift from Lord Brahma to me. I am acting until this time as if I have been tied by the Brahmastra just to meet your king in person. After this, Anjaneya turns to King Ravana and informs him that he has come to that place as a messenger of King Sugriva. He also advises him to pay attention to Sugriva's suggestions so that he can lead a longer life with name and fame. O Ravana, upon orders from King Dasaratha, his eldest son Sri Rama has come to the forest with his wife Sita and his younger brother Lakshmana. In the forest, Sita has been kidnapped. In the process of searching her, Sri Rama and Lakshmana met with Sugriva in the Rishyamukha hills and became friends. Sri Rama killed the greatest Vanara warrior Vali with a single arrow and made Sugriva as a king of Kishkinda. As promised, King Sugriva sent his army to four directions of the earth to search Sri Rama's wife Sita. One among them, named Hanmanta, I came to this place crossing 100 yojanas on the ocean. I have seen Sita in Ashokavanam. Now I am seeing you also. You seem to be well educated and you know what is wrong and what is right. It is not a good thing to kidnap others' wife. It is an indication of violating good practice. Don't underestimate the power of King Sri Rama. No one from demons or gods is a match for Sri Rama and Lakshmana in the battle. Don't ignore my advice and hand over Sita to Sri Rama. Sri Rama is not an ordinary man. He is God in the form of humans. It is a matter of time for him to come to this place as we know Sita's information now. Kidnapping Sita is equivalent to playing with a five-headed snake. I know you cannot be killed by gods or demons as you got boons with your penance. But remember, Sri Rama is a human being and he is coming here along with his Vanara friend King Sugriva. In the end, good always wins over evil. You know that Sri Rama has killed many demons in the forests. Now, you hear the death of the greatest Vanara warrior Vali. You are aware of the friendship between Sri Rama and Sugriva. Now it is time for you to realize what is right and wrong. Other than this, I don't have anything else to say. I myself can destroy this Lanka, but that is not Sri Rama's wish. He promised that he is not going to spare anyone who kidnapped Sita. He never breaks his promises. Sita is none other than the destroyer of Lanka. You are going to witness the destruction of your kingdom. All your friends and relatives are going to die in the fire of Sri Rama's arrows. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Banasura are not a match for Sri Rama. If he decides to fight, they cannot give any guarantee for your safety. Hearing such a strong message from Anjaneya, the frustrated and angered Ravana orders his men to cut Anjaneya's head. At the same time, Ravana's younger brother Vibhishana reminds Ravana that killing a messenger is not a right practice for any great king. He further adds that a wise king should punish the spies instead of killing them. But the angered Ravana insists that Anjaneya is eligible for the death punishment as he has done many mistakes. But Vibhishana tells him that he is a messenger. If we kill him now, no one else is going to reach this place again from his kingdom. Unless he goes back, his king will not come to know Sita's information. Instead of killing him, you should kill his king in the battle whenever he comes here. You are well educated and you know what is right and wrong. Gods or demons are not at all a match for your strengths. He has made many mistakes here. Being a spy, he is eligible for punishments like whiplashes, head shave, or wounding his hand or leg. King Ravana agrees with Vibhishana's suggestions. He orders his men to light Anjaneya's tail as a punishment. He thinks that it is a right punishment for Anjaneya because monkeys like their tails very much and with a burnt tail they look ugly.